Hi everyone and welcome back to the zombies. Since season 3 didn't bring us any new missions into zombies yet, all I had left to do is to play around with the new weapons. And so here we are with my take on our arsenal expansion when used in zombies. The first gun I wanted to lay my hands on is the new Morse sniper. Well, it is new to this game since it's originally coming from Advanced Warfare. In a nutshell, it's a single-shot railgun that looks really cool and sounds very satisfying. Just listen to this. But as a base, for zombies it's not particularly interesting. That is, until you pack-a-punch it. That is when it goes boom, literally. The pack-a-punch effect transforms most rounds into explosive shells, much like ones used by RGL. And I gotta say, it becomes a lot of fun to use immediately. Similarly to other explosive weapons in zombies, and counterintuitively to it being a sniper, Morse is more efficient when shot at the ground next to zombies rather than with direct shots at them, especially if you're dealing with armored enemies. It works pretty well for regular crowds, but it is not good at all against special zombies and is completely not effective against HVT variants. Unfortunately, my initial enthusiasm faded pretty fast when I realized that the damage Morse does is much lower than that of RGL, and significantly so too. On my estimate, RGL is at least 2 times stronger than Morse. Using slugs ammo increases the damage a bit, but not dramatically so. Once you fully level up the rifle, you can unlock a photonic charge barrel for it that lets you hold the trigger to charge your next shot for extra damage, but in zombies it's just not worth it. The damage increase is not sufficient to really change anything, and each of your non-charged shots becomes even weaker than it was. As a result, the Morse is good fun to use in general, but is only effective up to the medium threat zone, and as long as you stay away from HVTs or have another gun to deal with those. I took a legendary Punch 3 Morse with slugs ammo into the red zone and it just doesn't work. It can't even kill a hellhound with direct hit, and you need a lot of shots to kill armored zombies. Knockout effect from explosions allows you to survive normal enemies, but as soon as a special zombie come in, it becomes a pain. Softer mimics are manageable, but both Disciples and Manglers are a problem. Don't waste your time trying to take on a mega abomination with Morse. You'd be better off with virtually any other weapon. That is kind of a shame though. The few rounds I have played with Morse were great fun, but its limited damage potential means I'm unlikely to pick it as a weapon of choice, unless I need to complete some sniper related challenge, and even then I might just take a longbow. If you do take Morse in, I highly recommend using Quick Bolt for faster rechambering, non-zoom optics and short barrel for increased mobility, and get yourself a speed caller to further improve the fire rate. The next new weapon is an SMG, FJX Horus, and it's an interesting case compared to the previous weapon. Morse is fun to use, but it's not very good. FJX is actually good, but there's nothing really fun about it. It's your generic, lightweight, high mobility SMG with decent ammo capacity, very low recoil and good damage. Solid weapon all around. I felt absolutely comfortable going with it into red at epic rarity, and it worked very well there. As any other SMG, it benefits greatly from speed caller and deadshot daiquiri combination, since headshots are extremely effective. FJX loses its power with range very quickly, but honestly, most encounters in zombie are short range, so it really doesn't matter. A surprising thing, to me at least, is the absence of akimbo option for it. It feels very logical considering the gun's form factor, but I guess it will be added at some point later as an aftermarket part. Otherwise, a solid gun all around that you'll have a hard time remembering. Then we come up to a new melee, the punch knife called the Gladiator. Just as with most melee weapons, it's really strong against singular targets, and it shares all the benefits and issues from other similar melee weapons. You can hack and slash your target very quickly, including a special zombie, but at the same time you become very prone to being overwhelmed by a crowd or pushed back into the corner, and then you're effectively dead. If you bring the knife as a solo and as your only weapon, try to keep to open areas and stick to contracts that don't include large number of zombies. So do your HVT hunts and deliveries, but stay away from raid stash or outlast contracts. Same applies to the red, but obviously with more caution advised, since zombies there tend to hoard up more often. You're gonna be fine in terms of damage, just make sure to dance around facing no more than a couple of zombies at the same time. The big boys are not a good idea though. Megas just have too much health to be effectively tackled with your melee weapon, at least when you're alone. So resort to your thermites and sentry guns combination if you really have to take on them. Overall, again, it's a solid weapon that doesn't seem too different from a bunch of other options in that space. Is it usable in zombies? Yeah, kind of, but really just for fun. The next thing I wanted to try is the first week's challenge unlock, JAK Shadow Titan conversion kit for Bruin LMG. Now I have to say, I do not like Bruin at all. I feel it's way too heavy, way too slow, and with horrible reload time, which together completely negates the benefit of high ammo capacity and reserve it has. So I was skeptical about the conversion kit from the start, but I was wrong here. It's actually really good. Basically, it turns Bruin into something like AR or battle rifle, sacrificing the belt ammo feeder for increased mobility, significantly lower recoil and integrated silencer. And it all together feels quite nice. I didn't have to adjust to it or struggle with it at all. The gun now feels fine in any threat zone, reload time is more than reasonable, especially with speed caller. Damage output is solid both against regular Zeds and your special zombies. The suppressor also does its work very well, which is more than welcome when playing solo. I don't usually run with suppressors in zombies, but I have to say that the lower aggro rates do make a difference and in general make the play way more relaxed. So yeah, it's worth unlocking and using this conversion, especially if you are like me and less than impressed with the base Bruin. The last thing I wanted to try out at the start of the season is just how much exactly the Purifier got nerfed. So I went in with it to check in various scenarios. Here's the thing, there seems to be no real difference against regular and special zombies in all threat zones. You can still clear out a horde of tier 3 armored zombies and a couple of manglers with them in no time whatsoever. In that sense, the Purifier is still extremely good, especially if you are going into high danger areas or dark ether. But that's not really what everyone was using it for, right? The whole prior month it was used to melt HVTs including mega abominations in a matter of seconds, and that is gone. Patch notes specifically call out the elite zombies and bosses in the nerf, and that's true. Even medium threat zone HVT seems to not care about a full clip of Purifier anymore. Neither do mega abominations, which really is totally expected. The Purifier was completely OP against high value targets, so the nerf didn't really come as a surprise. Is it completely useless now? No, not at all. But it's no longer a broken attachment, making HVTs a breeze or allowing you to kill Stonecaller in a matter of seconds. An interesting result of Purifier nerf is that red zone is empty again. Shortly before Season 3 landed, everyone was in the red. You could literally have a whole lobby playing in high threat zone, trying to snatch every single contract the moment it pops up. That's no longer the case. The red is back to its usual state with just a handful of teams in it. And that is all I have to say so far about the new weapons. Hope this was helpful, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.